With the Easter event ending on the 19th, with no new tunes getting reworked, and the summer event right around the corner. What's that? The Easter event isn't ending on the 19th. There are tunes getting reworked? I'm sorry. You said what about the summer event? Oh, God. Surprisingly heavy news day. Starting off strong, we got an intro poster art for Yada. Planned to be in reworked map next update. Wait, what? What map is getting reworked? I don't remember seeing anything about that. What? So secretly inside of this, we just got info that there's gonna be a reworked map. Let's go ahead and take a look at this poster though. Yada is fun-loving, candy-eating, pinata acrobat. She was always there for her two closest friends, Blot and Louie. Together, the three come up with fun acts to perform, which makes sense, and it once again is alluding to Blot. I think we can all confirm or guarantee that we probably are getting a Blot update soon. Maybe with the summer event update? More on that later. Either way, right now, in the official Blush Discord server, you can vote on a poll that was made by Quell. Quell says, "It's been a bit since I did a poll. Thought I'd do one for fun." And you're probably asking yourself, well, what relevancy do these polls have? Well, in the past, the audience and me, myself included, were able to vote on like what Yada skin we actually want added to the game. For example, we got Colorful April because we voted for it. We also got a vote on what color the skin should be. Except we voted for Louie, but then ended up voting for the rainbow anyways, so who cares? As well as times where we got to vote on fixing Britney's mastery, which I don't know if that ever changed. Hold on. So apparently our voting means nothing because we did vote to change Britney's blackouts from 15 to 12. We did that half a year ago. 20,000 people actually. So maybe we have less control than we think. Regardless, right now you can vote on which main is your favorite, design/personality wise, from these choices. And I feel like most people are going to vote Pebble. I'm voting more based on personality. And honestly, I really like Astro. I think he's actually going to get the least amount of votes. And wow, I'm shocked. Pebble actually isn't the fan favorite, with Astro getting the majority of the votes, with Shelly getting the most votes. And I honestly think people voted for her because they feel bad for her and they're sympathizing with her. This is their way of getting equal with her because she's so forgotten. And this one asks, which main is your favorite, gameplay-wise, from these choices? And there's going to be a clear standout. I think it's actually going to be 50% in their favor. I think it's going to be between Pebble and Sprout, or 1 and 2. But I think 50% of people are going to vote for Pebble here. Ready? 3, 2, 1, bang. What does it say? You're kidding me. Nah, that's not. No. I don't believe that. There's no way. But that is an interesting thing. Astro was number 2 in voting when it was talking about design and personality. But when it comes to actual gameplay, he's dead last. With a clear outlier from these, Pebble and V be getting no love. And so we just found out that there is going to be reworked maps. But apparently, there might be some reworked tunes as well. And no, I'm not talking about the Britney change. I was sent this screenshot by a viewer. If you guys had to change how Ginger functioned, what would you do? I'd love to get further feedback and info on that. Something that wouldn't entirely change her, but also would maybe make her more varied in use case to Cosmo. But this was also said at the beginning of this year. This was literally said 5 months ago, and there still wasn't a change. The Britney blackout change was talked about 6 months ago, and nothing changed. And so with that, I originally wasn't going to put too much stock in these claims at all, because frankly, on what grounds do I have? There's no proof that saying these things matter at all. But then I got sent this screenshot. I actually feel that both Ginger and Bobette could use some adjustments, but I don't plan to adjust them until Christmas comes back around. I would like a lot of time to consider what to do with them to ensure the characters remain enjoyable while also becoming more usable. So, come around next Christmas time, we might see some differences and changes made to Bobette and Ginger, which I think is fair, waiting until the next Christmas. The main criticism from people being that it's just way too similar to Cosmo, which is fair. Either way, summer event. The thing that everyone was so excited for. When's it coming? When's it happening? We'll talk about that. But first, let's go ahead and look at some of the concepts people had for the summer event. Front-facing Sketchy made his OC called the Coral the Popsicle, which definitely is going to be the normal tune of the bunch, with his ability, Sweet Tooth. This tune eats a treat, granting her a 150% increase in a random stat for 5 seconds, has a cooldown of 40 seconds, which is a pretty standard normal tune. I mean, at this point, common, uncommon, rare, and then main tune. Or rather, Twisted's new map, and event currency. That seems to be the structure of how all these updates are gonna go. So let me guess, there's gonna be a rare toon next? Yes, exactly. And I know the fatigue is starting to affect some people. A lot of people are wanting something new. The floor variants that were teased in the past, which is really what people are wanting to see. And I think what they're hoping for to happen in one of these updates soon. I don't think I have the screenshot anymore, but Quo did in the past confirm that she was gonna add new floor variants. So with that being said, we're going to look at floor variety. And this was made by Deco Leco Hecko, who is an absolute goat on the Reddit. So floor variety will include new mechanics that may give players more challenges and dangers to face, or new exploratory opportunities to introduce game's lore. Some of these floors may appear based by chance, by number of floors a player had passed, or by special situations based on the player's actions and interaction towards a specific floor. An example of what one of these floors would look like is a hazardous floor that consists of little to no twists within the floors. However, as the name suggests, will be littered with hazards and traps that may have the potential to harm an unsuspecting toon if not careful. These floors have smaller chance of spawning compared to default floors. These floors and hazards may consist of spells of Iker and bear traps. I wonder who laid those there, and so on and so forth. And I could go through all these floor varieties. This could be a whole video in and of itself, but people want to see new content, which will hopefully be in the summer event, right? Right? Before I talk too much more about the summer event, let's take a look at another OC. This one was made by Quiet Mode. They made Pearl the Mermaid, and Pearl is Finn's best friend. Ooh, best friend, you say? Okay, well, you're asking for it. And protector of sea creatures. She's ever curious about what it's like on land. She can be rather naive and ditzy, but she's as sweet as a sunset on a nice summer day. She costs 1300 Iker and needs 50% twisted research on Finn. As you can see, this toon dives into dives into water and emerges on the other side, allowing her to teleport to an area in close vicinity of where it was activated. Activates in a straight line of sight. So what? So she teleports? So it's like Glisten, but she picks where she teleports first? This is the best example I could come up with. This is Reaper from Overwatch. It's essentially like he teleports forwards. I think that's the idea that this person has. With Twisted Pearl saying, it's best to watch where you step, for this Twisted creates and hides in puddles of Iker. Sick. So cool. So cool. Cooler than Roger. Anyone that steps in these puddles gets dragged down to a random location that they never intended to be, all the while being mildly slowed down. Bro, what? Rarity, rare, speed none with the Trinket Pearl's necklace. Grants twice the amount of tapes upon completing machines using items. This is so cool. Which, honestly, we need a trinket like that. I don't know how that trinket doesn't already exist. Either way, so many people want to see some new things. For example, collabs. Roblox collabs are happening, especially inside of horror-themed things. Like, for example, I see SpongeBob horror-themed stuff all the time. I'm seeing One Piece infected AUs. If you want me to make a video on that, comment down below. Either way, people are pointing out how literally Dead by Daylight is collaborating with freaking Five Nights at Freddy's. If you guys don't know, Dead by Daylight is essentially like Forsaken. Forsaken is like this game. Either way, just collabs. It would be cool to see. But either way, I think it's time we finally address the elephant in the room. The summer update. The thing that everyone has been waiting for. The thing that everyone has been hyping up so drastically bad. Actually, but first, you remember at the beginning of the video when I said how the Easter event was going to be ending on May 19th? Remember that? Well, I took a screenshot earlier. From what something Cole said, and she said, see ya guys, just make sure people don't spread misinfo on event ending on the 19th. So the Easter event is not ending on Tuesday like we all had thought, which if you're asking me, which I know no one is, when I interpreted that, I assumed it was because they're giving themselves more time for a summer event update, right? Well, guys, I have the worst news imaginable. This picture just got sent to me and it's official. It's by Quell. And it says, no summer event, but we'll update through the summer. So, obviously, I don't think this is super public yet. I don't think people really know this. So I'm the one telling you and breaking your heart. There's not going to be a summer event, but they're going to update through the summer. What does that mean? Probably a bunch of small updates. For example, probably the circus update, where we're going to get blot. We're going to get that map rework that was talked about. You know, the one that was talked about randomly right here. Literally, yeah, right here. For whatever reason, it was right there, clear as day. So after all that, let me know what you guys think currently about the position of Danny's World. At the end of the day, we all want the same thing, right? We just want Danny's World to thrive, and we want to play new content. Maybe find something that gives Danny's World just the slightest bit more of replayability. Either way, guys, good luck getting Batsy, because I still don't, and I'll see you